The weights of life. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. When I was growing up in Vero Beach, Florida, we had an old grandfather clock that hung on the wall at the top of the staircase. The clock had been in our family for 4 generations. It was like an old family friend. Every Sunday morning before we went to church, my father would open the large glass door, crank the key over and over, and raise the heavy weight that made the clock run. One day, when I was in 3rd grade, I pulled up a chair, opened the door, and removed the heavy weight from the chain. Immediately, the clock stopped. Later that night, my dad asked why I had taken the weight off the clock. The only excuse I could think of was that I felt sorry for the clock for having to carry such a heavy load. That's when my dad explained, it's the weight that keeps the clock going. From that moment, those words became ingrained in me. I know that God puts certain weights or burdens on each of us for the same reason, to keep us going. These are the heartaches, the disappointments, the failures, the frustrations, and the stresses of life. Yet we seldom give them the credit they deserve. Remember, happiness is not the goal in the life of a Christian. Our goal is holiness. Happiness is self-fulfilled. Holiness is God-fulfilled because it forms us into the likeness of Christ. When we look back over our lives, most of us will have to admit that what we have gained in Christ-like character has been achieved through the various heartaches and disappointments we have experienced. We didn't recognize it then, but hopefully through the passage of time and with God's grace, we can step back now and say the struggle was good. Think about it. Some of the most magnificent songs we sing were born out of great cost. Some of our most moving spirituals came out of a generation of people in slavery. Some of our sweetest hymns were written by those in deep suffering, such as Fanny J. Crosby, who was blind when she wrote, "Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine." Some of our greatest symphonies came from a deaf Beethoven. Some of our greatest literature from a blind Milton. Good things come from those who bear the weight. As God works to mold you, he will put weights on you. He will give you crosses to bear and burdens to carry. But take courage. Each weight has a role in his ultimate plan to form Christ's character within you. Your hardships and frustrations and disappointments can be incredibly fruitful if you don't spend all your time and energy trying to escape them. Instead, bear up under them, cope with them, walk them out. The weight may be heavy, but it has great purpose, and with God's help, you will be able to carry it.